So we got Moist Critical here. This is a very interesting one. It says already back to their old trash, and this is talking about a topic that a lot of us, that I mean, basically Twitter, gaming Twitter is talking about is with Xbox. Those that do not know, Xbox is considering shutting down some studios, Compulsion Games, Ninja Theory, and a few other ones. And I saw like a little bit of this and I was like, oh, this is something I gotta react to and like give my thoughts about it. So this is gonna be a very interesting one. Make sure to check out, Penguin Zero. Make sure to check him out, Moist Critical here. And also, if you guys like the content here, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also drop a like and comment down below what you guys think about this whole thing with Xbox and how things are running. So without further ado, let's get it.
In Schmeckledorft, it's only been 2 months since they played the big prank on us, since we were all deceived, like Sauron giving us the rings. I foolishly bought into the idea that Xbox's new CEO, Asha Sharma, was on the right path after she made that statement about the shortcomings and what Xbox needs to return to its former glory, and even dropping the absurd Game Pass prices down, which I know isn't some move of an angel, like it's not some benevolent gift she bestowed upon us out of the goodness of her heart. It is a standard business tactic called price anchoring, because where they ended up with the new price for Game Pass is still higher than where the price was initially before they had the absolute lunacy that was the 50% price increase, which is just fucking sinful. Yeah. Trust me, just like when the peanut butter's on the top shelf, I know it's there and it's painful. I get it, I really do. But what you have to understand, when it comes to Xbox, we are just emaciated when it comes to anything positive in that fucking cesspool. You have to dumpster dive into the very bottom, get into the dumpster juice, the sludge water there, to find W's when there's even a morsel of one there. And in this case, her reverting that price even a little bit, like taking foot off of everyone's nutsack, I believed was at least a step in the right direction. And the things she was saying was accurate about like why Xbox is no longer the juggernaut that it was.
A big one, and a lot of people may agree with it, agree or disagree. This is just my personal opinion. Game Pass. Yeah, it was a great idea to be able to pay a subscription to play a few games, especially day one release and everything like that. But here's the thing: when it comes to Game Pass, I don't think would be existent if games were still hard hitting and they were like blockbuster titles like they were during, like, I don't know, the Xbox 360 era. Let's say that for sure. We already know when those games were just bangers after bangers after bangers, and the quality of the games were so great. We didn't even care. We're like, we know this game's gonna be good. We're gonna play it. So we're gonna buy it day one. If that was the case, I don't even think Game Pass would even be an option. It wouldn't. And on top of that, we did have Xbox Live Arcade, where we got Braid, we got Alien Hominid, Battlefield 1943, we got Castle Crashers. Like, we had a whole bunch of games. Oh, we had Hexic too. We had that game. We had a lot of games. So again, I think the whole Game Pass, where we're trying to go down subscriptions of purchasing games and stuff like that, or being able to play games. I think it's just, I think it was the wrong move. Me personally, I think it was the wrong move. Now, I will say, actually, no, I just think it's the wrong move in general. Because here's the thing, a lot of people don't remember, I guess, is Xbox, from day one, you always had to pay a subscription to play online, to access Xbox Live. It's the same thing with the OG Xbox. It always been, you got to pay. You got to pay to play online. That's it. So why would you want to double that of paying a monthly subscription service? Now, and the last thing here I will say is what they should have kept is Games for Gold, which was a benefit of if you bought Xbox, if you were an Xbox Live Gold member, which is either 1 month, 3 months, or a year, you would be able to every month get. There would be like a select game, or a selection of games that are for free. It could be from like Xbox 360 games. It could be original Xbox games. You can buy that game. You can purchase that game and download it for free. Or I'm sorry, you can obtain the game for free, not purchase it for free. You can obtain the game for free and you'll have it forever. It will be forever in your library. It doesn't go away or anything like that. I think when they went away from that, it ruined the Xbox Live benefits, or the benefits of having Xbox Live, honestly. Because now, again, Game Pass, you're like, okay, you still need Xbox Live to access Game Pass, so you have to pay for 2 subscriptions. Doesn't make sense. So anyway, here we go.
So I really did think that she was starting to course correct the ship here. But now, sports fans, I gotta tell you, it really seems like anyone who takes up the mantle at Xbox is cursed to ride the Orb of Confusion crazy style. Like, that's the only explanation here. They are once again back on their barnacles, bro. And to be fair, it's not even accurate to say that, because they just never stopped with the horseradish. I just assumed, and I think a lot of us assumed, that with Asha correctly identifying the shortcomings of the Xbox brand for so long,
which is true,
they would also have that come to Jesus moment, that eureka, the light bulb that goes off in their head, that the relentless, ruthless, cutthroat shutting down of studios was also not helping them at all. In most cases, there were a few that I understood where they just literally had nothing to show for.
They got to cut down, they got to trim the fat. Even if it's a multi-billion-dollar company, probably almost $1 trillion company or whatever, they're going to have to cut down. They're going to have to cut down anyway. Just probably they're probably going by studios, looking at the books, things like that. See, like, okay, when was the last time they put a game out? And when they put the game out, how did it do? Were there any returns? Also looking at the staff, and it's like the price of development, because then also, remember, you got to pay everybody that's working on the game, like all the developers and stuff, including, you know, your HR people and all that stuff. You still have to pay all of them with that development cost and everything, right? So it's like, did that equate to what the game made in return? Most likely no. So that's when they're like, hey, you guys haven't turned a hard profit or anything. You guys haven't broken even or turned a hard profit. So we got to let you guys go. We got to cut you guys down. Sorry.
For years upon years of work, like, just couldn't release a game. So I get it, because it was just hemorrhaging money. Yeah. Just these huge payments, and still not a single game that they were able to fart out. Like, I get those. But that's not all of their shutdowns. And their most recent ones actually have me at my chin scratching the fuck out of it, because I can't understand. Because some of the studios they shut down are actively far along in development on titles people are excited for, or they have also just recently released titles as well. It just makes no sense to be constantly looking for ways of shutting down these studios, when the biggest problem, the one that's plagued Xbox the most above all others, and one that Asha herself has even tinkered around with and slapped around, is that Xbox has no games. Yeah. There is nothing to justify spending the hundreds of dollars required to get the Xbox when there's just fucking nothing on it except dust and broken dreams. Like, there is no reason for you, nor I, nor your mom, your mom's boyfriend, your dad, whoever, to go out and get an Xbox. There's just no fucking games for it. And you know what doesn't help there is shutting down all the studios that are working on games.
But the thing is, are the games that people actually want, and is it going to guarantee make profit back to that studio?
And that's what's just happened here. And you know what else just happened here? Me dropping the truth about the best damn beverage on the planet. Gamerade from Gamersubs. This is my
I never had Gamersubs before.
Here. Motion potion. Can't get the camera to focus on it. There it is. It was glistening too brightly with the heavenly glow.
Is that
Gamerade is
a bullet?
A no caffeine, no sugar, hydration formula with creatine. And I think you all know by now I'm a big proponent of creatine. The quantity in here isn't for like weightlifting or anything, it's just for general brain health, just to keep you sharp. So if you're interested in trying it, you can click the link in the description below. And like I was saying, it is happening again here with Xbox. They have just shut down Ninja Theory. And they put the fear of God in other studios under their umbrella. It's not even really an umbrella. They got them in like fucking pit of like barbed wire. Basically, they're walking on eggshells down there, but they have also apparently been tinkering around with the idea of, Double Fine, maybe closing the door there, Compulsion Games, and Arcane. Now, I think this is crazy because at the most recent Xbox showcase, which was like 8 days ago, they prominently featured Ninja Theory's upcoming game, the new Hellblade game, Sinwa. And I understand the Hellblade franchise has historically flopped. It's been kind of weak in terms of sales, and I personally am not a huge fan of them. I find them to be more like tech demos than actual games.
So that's a possible, that's a problem that they probably see as well. Okay.
But they were actively far along with Sinwa, and they had even showcased it at Xbox's own event to pretty big success because it looks like they were prioritizing making it a game for the first time in this franchise's history.
But this is what, the third game that they made? And the previous two didn't do well? Let me see. Let's take a look. Where'd it go? Here, I'll do this. Because I did look at some of the stuff earlier. Okay, so Hellblade 2 Senua, right? It was this one. So very positive for recent reviews, English reviews, very positive. Came out 2 years ago, right? Okay. So came out 2 years ago. Let's go ahead and look at here. Where is it? Where'd it go? There it is. So came out 2 years ago, and they got this is, and again, this is only Steam. I'm not sure if they came out on console as well, but yeah, only almost like 4,000 players. So it didn't do so hot. Let's see here. Yeah, it just didn't do so hot. It didn't pick up. And then Hellblade 1, probably the first one probably didn't do so well either. So again, that's like two bad games, and they're like, hey, like, I know you guys are making your third game, but unfortunately it wasn't doing so good. It wasn't doing so good. So we gotta let it go. This too much money was just being bled out.
So it was pretty exciting to a lot of people, and now they announced that the studio's banished to the Shadow Realm after they just unveiled it, and it comes out early 2027, so they are presumably like at the finish line of this game.
I will also say, how much money did they put into Senua? That's also a big one. If they put hundreds of millions of dollars in it as well, that's a problem. Because if the previous two didn't do well, and I don't know if they didn't break even or generate a profit, I think that's also a big problem as well. That they're thinking like, hey, this next one, you guys had two chances and it didn't work out. I know you guys are working on this one. You guys said it's going to come out in 2027. There's still a lot of money we got to put into this game. You know, I don't think it's going to I don't think it's going to break even or meet the cost. Or I don't think it's going to break even or make a profit. I think that is the mindset of what they're going with.
If you were going to shut down Ninja Theory, why wouldn't you do it after Hellblade 2's flop? Why wait until this is...
Because it was under a different management or under a different CEO. So they weren't going to do that.
Already like almost done to shut it down instead of like let them release the game, because at least you'd still have a game coming from them. Now you just have nothing to show for it. Again, the biggest problem is they don't have games, and now they've just shut down a studio that does have a big game on the horizon.
They don't have games because, again, we don't have exclusivity. We don't have flagship games anymore because the previous people decided to say everything is an Xbox and we're getting rid of exclusivity, when you have Nintendo and Sony still having flagship titles that are exclusive to their platforms. Like Xbox gave up everything to try to help out consumers and everything, but Sony didn't want to do it. Nintendo didn't want to do it either. So why does Xbox need to be the only one that has to give up exclusivity? And I've been saying this to my friends multiple times that are PlayStation fans, and they argue with me and stuff, and I'm just like, again, if PlayStation gave their stuff up and Nintendo gave their stuff up, hey, I wouldn't be, then I wouldn't mind it. But if it's only one platform, even if it's just PlayStation that only gives up their exclusivity, and Xbox and Nintendo are still exclusive, I would still have the same energy. It's like all of them need to either give up exclusivity or they all just stay exclusive to help their brand out. That's it.
It just seemed very silly. And Double Fine, they just released a game not long ago. Compulsion just released a game not long ago. Like, it's just, there are studios Microsoft could shut down that I would understand again, because they...
Compulsion Games, I'll show you guys that real quick, because Compulsion Games, that's a big one. So Compulsion Games they made South of Midnight. That was the recent game. Not many people played it, clearly. Here it is right here. Compulsion Games. Yeah, they did sell on Xbox, but it was sold on the Game Pass. Bad idea. And they only had 1,400 players. That's it. 30 are playing right now. 1,400 players, right? So here's the thing. Compulsion Games went down the list. This is the credits here. From Moby Games is the credits for the game. This consultant group right here, Sweet Baby Inc., is a consultant firm. This is when Gamergate 2.0 was really active at a time. I think it's like at the very beginning, and this is talking about where some activists are talking about DEI and the going to war with gamers and stuff, right? So if you look at the names here, Story Development, Cameron Wild, Kim Belair, Louisa Otto. So Kim Belair is the CEO. Okay, she's the CEO of Sweet Baby. But the big one I want to look at is Cameron Wild. This name right here. Okay, Cameron Wild right here. I covered this about 2 years ago, September 24th, from That Park Place. Cameron Wild. Give me 1 second, just to make sure you guys see everything. So yeah, Cameron Wild said her goal is, because she works at Sweet Baby, is to burn the game industry to the ground. This was during a event that they had. It was called the Game Devs of Color Expo, and it was on YouTube. I'm not sure if they still have it on their channel or if they still have that video up or not, but you can take a look at it. And literally, she has a slideshow and says it like, cool, why am I here? Want cooler stories, a safer world, burning the game industry to the ground. Well, you can't have the first two if you're going to do the third one. Doesn't make sense. So again, stuff right here is conflicting. Talking about a whole bunch of other stuff where they don't want to have white people in video games and things like that, because it's like that's like what that's what the whole thing is about. As you can see, like in the second part right here, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. It says to prove that space where whiteness doesn't have to live is where some of the best stories are told. And it's so dumb. It's so dumb talking about that. So why Compulsion Games did very bad is because of this group right here. Mainly this person right here, and this consulting firm that again is part of South of Midnight resulted in this, where people did not want to buy the game. A lot of people didn't want to buy the game. A lot of people didn't want to play the game. I looked at the game. It just looked like a normal platformer type game. Nothing great, nothing special about it. So why they got let go is, again, you have people that are in the industry that are problematic. And this is why I will completely harp on multiple times. I will completely harp on this like many times. If you are a game studio and you have activists or whoever in your in your studio that wants to be talking about anything political, like ideological, anything like that, that could be deemed problematic, working in the studio, you can't do that. Sorry, you can't talk about it. Not while the game is in development. Why? Because literally, that's the result of what happens. Somebody opens their mouth, talks about a whole bunch of shit, and then their game, they talk about whatever that is deemed problematic. It gets blown up on the internet, the studio takes a hit for it because that person's name is linked to the studio, even though they say my opinions are my own. It doesn't matter. Studio gets hit by public opinion. They still get hit. And what happens after that? Game doesn't do well, doesn't sell. People get laid off because of what that person says, or because of what that person said. That's the problem. So again, what they need to do is, when it comes to stuff like this, like, again, if anybody that has if people that are being hired and stuff, if they are an activist in some sort of fashion, I'm sorry, no, you're not being hired. You're not being hired, because all this is going to do is, and I'm like, honestly, it's just because it's going to cause a problem with the studio, and we need to develop a game that is going to sell. And if we have people here that are doing things that are deemed problematic, that can cause a backlash on the studio, we don't want that. And when they don't get hired, they can go on LinkedIn and whatever, and they can bitch all they want, saying, "Oh, I didn't get hired because of this." And it's like, well, yeah, some people are gonna be like, "Oh, side with them," be like, "Oh, that's not fair." But the thing is, other people are gonna be like, "Well, yeah, look what you said." They don't want that. That makes sense, right? It's like, you don't want to, a lot of companies don't want to hire somebody that has, a criminal record, because it just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good on the company. So, okay. Let's keep going. So that's Compulsion Games, because of South of Midnight and stuff.
They have so many studios that just aren't making anything. Literally not making anything. And they did overextend when they started gluttonously gobbling up every game development studio on the planet and putting them under Microsoft. Tons of them just coasted and haven't made anything.
True.
Why not target some of those that still have nothing to show? Why go after...
Oh, they're going to. It's just, they probably haven't said anything that became problematic on the internet or anything like that. But eventually they're going to be like, "You guys haven't put out anything. You guys are out too."
Some of these that are actively making games. Even if the games aren't performing up to the standards you would like to see, it's still better than nothing. And they have a lot of nothing under their umbrella. I just don't get why the crosshair wouldn't be over there. R.I.P. Ninja Theory? What? Wait, what? They just unveiled the new Hellblade. And now they're shutting them down?
Yep.
Compulsion Games, Double Fine, and Arcane are also at risk of getting shut down. Yeah, I see Compulsion and Double Fine here. Arcane too?
I don't know anything about Arcane.
On Monday, and they've got several other active negotiations about spinning off Compulsion Games and Double Fine.
Yep.
Asha Sharma and Chief Content Officer Matt Booty warning last week of a reset at Xbox, laying out several challenges facing Xbox business, including that it had overextended with its studio system, and the hardware component crisis is significantly driving up prices. It's an actual...
They need to, basically it's just a warning. For a while, it should have been a warning, like the writing is on the walls, like a lot of people are talking about it. Because remember, they said that there is a team that is looking at online about games and stuff, and what studios are doing and things like that. So yeah, that is a problem. It is a huge problem.
Dumpster fire at Xbox right now.
Do I want studios to shut down? No, because that's a lot less jobs and things like that. Yeah, I would like to work in the game industry. Yes, I would like to work there again. But the thing is, if you keep coming out with crappy games that are gonna sell, or if you have IPs that are really good, franchises that are really good and everything, but then you either alter the game, or it doesn't feel like the previous games, it loses identity, or you have people that are, deemed problematic that are talking about whatever that damages the reputation of that studio. Yeah, it's a problem. They want to get rid of all that. I don't see the problem with it.
Now, head of Xbox Game Studio left, and Treyarch Studios head left as well. What? What is going on? Really, I truly am confused by this, because I didn't play Compulsion's last game, which was South of Midnight, and I recognize that we
already talked about that.
Only released 3 games in 17 fucking years, so they're...
Oh, that's even worse. 3 games in 17 years? Yeah, not great.
They're extremely slow, but they've still done more than like a bunch of other studios that Xbox still has. So like they did release a game.
They'll get looked at.
I don't know how it did like financially, but like
terrible.
The fact they even released a game is infinitely more than you could say for so many of their fucking studios that they haven't axed.
They released a game and it didn't sell well. So even if you say putting a game out is still better than not putting a game out, but the thing is, it didn't meet the numbers. It didn't meet the numbers and the expectations of what they were selling. Again, and if I always keep asking this, I always keep telling people this. I want to be in one of those meetings when they pitch the idea of a game and how much it's going to cost for the development. And I will always say this: brand new IPs don't need to be over $100 million or whatever. They need to be capped at like 50 million or lower. If they're like, well, that's not enough, we have too many developers. Well, you better start cutting developers down, or your leadership needs to take a pay cut. One of the two. Figure it out.
And Double Fine, they released a game this year, and they released a game last year as well, and they had Psychonauts 2, which was
hold on, what did Double Fine make? Let's look that up. Let's see what Double Fine made. So I'm gonna get rid of these ones. Let's see, Double Fine games. Let's see. Okay. So Double Fine, the last game that they made was Psychonauts 2, which was 5 years ago. You guys already know where I'm going with this. I don't even know if I'm not even sure if Psychonauts is actually no, it's on Steam. It probably came out later on Steam, but we'll see. I don't know how they sold. All right, 7,200 players in the last almost 5 years. Let's see here. Trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Sales. So let's see. They report apparently sold over 1.7 million copies, at least, surpassing the original Psychonauts to become developer Double Fine Productions' highest rated and best-selling game to date. Now, let's see here. Let's go back to Double Fine games 2026. Anything that's coming up? Let's see. 2026 Double Fine Productions launched their pottery brawler game, Kiln. Okay. That's it? Is it just Kiln? So this is their latest. This is the game that's going to be coming out. But like, what else? What else with this game? Is there like it's an online multiplayer pottery party brawler where teams of colorful spirits sculpt ceramic battle armor and pottery wheel. Oh, on a pottery wheel, and the size of the shape of your pots determine on your playstyle and abilities. Honestly, I don't know if people are going to play this when they have press and influencer downloads already. So I don't know. I don't think people would play this. Like it won't make a huge impact. I don't know. So yeah, that's pretty wild. Pretty wild.
Super banger in 2021. So like they are cranking games, and I'm pretty sure the 2 games Double Fine has released over the last 2 years, Keeper and Kiln, have been very well received. I don't know how they've done financially, but even still, they are making games. Like that is what you want from these studios. Like they are making.
Wait, Kiln was out already? I did. Okay, yeah, hold on. Let me see. That's 2 months ago. Ah. And then was it Keeper? That's 8 months ago. So in total, let's see, 191 and 193. So 400-ish, well, 300-ish, almost 400 players in total for 2 games. That's not very good. Again, it's not coming great out the gate. So
making games, and those were, from what I can tell, pretty well received. Now I know they haven't like officially, put belt to ass on Double Fine and the others, but the fact that it's even on the table just shows that they are really out of touch. They need games. That is the only thing.
They need good quality games. So they need games that they need to put out games that people actually want. They need to listen to the consumers. They need to listen to the people, the gamers, us. What games do you guys want to bring? Like, what games would you guys want? Hell, bring us. It was on the Xbox 360. Bring us back Chrome Hounds. Bring us back Mech Assault. That'd be great if you can bring Mech Assault back. Bring us another Fusion Frenzy game. That'd be cool. Ninja Theory, you guys, the last like super banger that you guys had on the original Xbox was Kung Fu Chaos, which was a fun party game in itself. Bring that back. You guys have these games, like there's so many games that are left just left on the back burner or just left in the shadow realm that they can bring back, and people would be so ecstatic about it. But if they don't want to do it, that's on them.
That saves this brand is games, and you are now going after developers that are providing you games. Again, even if they're not grand salami, super touchdowns, you're still getting games. And in the case of like,
if they're not grand salami touchdowns, then what's the point of putting that game out? That's the problem. You can put out multiple games that only have a max capacity, or not a max capacity, but like a highest rating ever of like 100 players, like games sold. That doesn't benefit Xbox. That doesn't benefit the companies. That doesn't benefit the studios, because they're still in debt. They're still in the crapper when it comes to the money that they owe back, because they still got to make profit off of it. Well, still, at least got to break even for the investors, but they got to make profit of it if they want to keep the studio. That's the problem.
Like Double Fine or Ninja Theory. Like Ninja Theory games, even though I don't like Hellblade, they are well received. So like
It didn't look like it, what we saw earlier.
Still getting like high quality games that come out. Why would those be the ones that you would look at here to just get rid of? Especially coming in as a new CEO, when you want like hype, like you want things that'll get people excited, and what gets people excited is more games that are good and high quality.
And that's the problem. There's not many good games that are out that are good and high quality. I understand what he's trying to say, but the thing is, was Senua really well received? Because I'm just saying, from reactions I've seen, and even for me, like even reactions I've seen, people are like, oh, they're doing another Hellblade game. Oh, actually, they're not putting the Hellblade name in there. I wonder if it's because of the previous Hellblade games. That right there is already bad. That sounds bad. That sounds bad. So yeah, I mean, again, if it was like, I think if it was like, let me see here. Let's back it up with Call of Duty. Let's say Call of Duty came out. Let's say if we were back in 2021, okay, and Vanguard came out. and saying they're under Xbox and everything. And Xbox said, hey, we're getting rid of Activision. Like, hey, we're getting rid of Activision. I could understand the upset there because Cold War did really good, and Modern Warfare 2019 really did really good. So I would understand the upset there because they had obviously like they had a good lining of games, like the history of it. With these studios, from what I've seen, don't have a good track record, and they're like, these ones are hurting us. Yeah, after that, we're gonna go into the ones that are trying to hide, or the ones that haven't put out a game. Those ones are gonna be also looked at as well. So I think it's whatever was just like, you know, pitched or mentioned at that time is what they were looking at.
Not the opposite of taking even more games away from an already barren wasteland of a platform. Can't believe you get tricked into thinking.
I will say this as well. If Xbox were to, I mean, if they get rid of every single game, like, I mean, if they get rid of every single thing and just wipe the slate clean, and we only had like 5 good quality games, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. That's a start. But having like only 2 good games and then like the rest of them be like very mediocre or worse or just completely awful games, I don't want that. I don't think anybody would want that. Because then they're like, well, what's the point of even buying the Xbox? I know right now, what's the point of even buying the Xbox now? Right now, it's like buying Gears. If you don't, is buying Gears and Clockwork. Okay, that's a start. It's not for sure like, ooh, I will for sure buy this game or buy this console because of this game. If they have more games like that, then yeah, like Halo campaign evolved. If it was only strictly for Xbox, Xbox and I guess PC. People might come over and play it on Xbox. If not, people would just play it on their PCs if they already have one. It's the exclusivity thing. It's the whole thing with exclusivity. Either all studios need to, or all platforms need to get rid of exclusivity, or every single platform has it. It's what it is.
Xbox was back. I never said that. I never said Xbox was back, just that A1pha was at the very least not driving it more actively into the ground. It was taking steps to steer it in the right direction, and now it's right back to standard Xbox behavior. Is there a way back for Xbox? Games!
Good quality games.
Make games!
Anybody can make a game. I can make a game right now on Unreal Engine of a ball rolling down the hill and be like, hey, Xbox, I want to put this on Game Pass and everything. They put it on Game Pass and they're like, oh, here's a game. That doesn't mean the game's going to be well received and be like, oh, it's just a game about a ball rolling down a hill. Ooh, yay. It's still a game though. It's still a game. They need good quality games. And I'm not talking about games that are mainly movies. I mean actual video games. Actual video games. I don't need no interactive games. Unless it's like Until Dawn type stuff, which they knocked out of the park with. Supermassive knocked out of the park with their games. But I don't want stuff where it's just like 80% cinematics with like a little bit of interaction to it, and the rest of it like gameplay or 20% gameplay. I don't want that. It's not a video game. It's just literally you're watching a movie then.
The way back is through games that aren't $400 million like Gears E-Day apparently is.
I will say with Gears, to be honest, it's cool like they sorry I keep pausing, but it's cool that they came out with Gears E-Day and everything, and they said that they wiped the whole slate clean. Everything is brand new and built up. So I can see where the $400 million probably went to, right? But if that is true, if it is $400 million that was the cost, that I don't believe it was a smart idea, because what was the last Gears of War that came out? Let's see. What was the last Gears of War game? Gears of War Reloaded. That was what? I want to say Gears of War. Yeah, well, Yeah, I guess. Okay, so player count, Steam charts. So almost 5,000. This is on, again, this is only on Steam. I don't know if people on, I don't know what the PlayStation and Xbox numbers are, but that is, doesn't seem so good. That doesn't seem too good. And again, people were just playing it because of the nostalgia. That's it. People were playing it because of nostalgia. And again, this is already in the realm of when we're sick and tired of nostalgia games. Well, I want to say sick and tired of it. We're like, okay, the industry is really leaning into nostalgia baiting and really by releasing these nostalgia games. But now now people are like, this game is like, you know, these studios are lacking originality. We need something new. We don't need nostalgia. We're tired of it. Let's see something new. Hell, we're already seeing it with Call of Duty, right? We're already seeing it with them where they're like, they have new maps that come out, which is great, but then they always got to bring back a classic map. They always got to bring back Nuketown, Shipment, something like that. They always got to bring back something like that. And it's like, no, let's get something new. Let's get something new. I want, like, Modern Warfare 4, which it would be nice. I mean, I'm not gonna play it, honestly. I have my skepticism with that game. But with Modern Warfare 4, it would be nice to see like just all the maps that they release, brand freaking new, original, nothing tying to maps in the past. Everything in the past is left in the past. I want brand new, like everything fresh, brand new. That would be cool. So yeah, last one was Gears of War Reloaded. Which what was the last one? Gears of War 5? When did that release? It was in 2019. And how did this one do? Gears of War player count. I know Gears 5 was also on Xbox. 10,000. There's still 512 players playing right now. That's crazy. That's crazy. But good for them. Good for them. But yeah, so don't look too hot. Don't look too hot for Coalition. So that's also another thing. Looking at the track record of how their games did in the past. Is it worth it? Is it worth the money? At 400 million. That's the thing.
People are theorizing that Sinwa trailer was more of a teaser if some other company wants to buy Ninja Theory off of Microsoft. I don't see that happening though, man. I really don't. Like, you might be right, maybe that theory is accurate, but who would step in and buy them in the current climate of AAA gaming?
Exactly. So if they can't sell it off, they might as well shut down that studio. Again, it ends people's jobs and it sucks, but what's the point of keeping a studio that is not making you money and you're bleeding money through them? It's just like how we look at it with esports. Like a lot of esports organizations, especially after COVID ended, or esports is not really that big, or not really that popular anymore because, again, all these companies that were putting money into it found out that they were just bleeding money. There was no way of like really making a return. I would say I would say Optic, maybe they're the ones that are like making a good return, or making a return, but I don't know. I would have to see like costs and all that stuff.
Especially given how Hellblade 1 and 2 performed, right? Like, it just feels like that's cooked, like that's just kind of curtains. I don't know if there's maybe a path.
Yeah, exactly. So what he said, because of Hellblade 1 and 2, they didn't really cook, right? They didn't do so hot. So why would I want to keep that studio?
Forward for Ninja Theory to independently release it. Oh man, I don't know if that mic picked that up, but that was a juicer. But maybe there is. Don't Nod and Quantic Dream also getting layoffs, reduced funding, even reports that Bethesda, BioWare, and id are all in trouble. Looks like it's starting to collapse, man.
I think it's a warning. For them, I think it's a warning. But like, if you guys don't get your shit together and put out good quality games, you're gonna end up like them. That's pretty much what it is. They got to make it. And it kind of sucks, but I think what it is, they got to make an example out of something, out of a few. It is what it is.
The crazy budgets could only last so long.
Yep.
You think this will happen with Gears as well? If Gears E-Day doesn't do fucking record numbers, I bet Coalition gets shut down, yeah. I think it's already set up for failure now that it's completely exclusive and apparently 400 million in the can. So yeah, I think Coalition's definitely
allegedly
next. Why do they...
For Gears, and I mean, it's live service too. For Gears, if they already have like the base game already, I'd say next month. If they have the base game like already done and everything, and they're already working on content for like an expansion or like some sort of DLC, if they're working on that and they constantly stay ahead of it, I think that they will still make. They can make back the money. Possibly. I'm not saying for sure, but it's a possibility.
They shut down studios instead of selling them. Well, I think they'd prefer to sell them if they could, but there's not a lot of buyers. There's only so many buyers.
Because people don't want to. Again, people are probably looking at their catalogs and like, yeah, nice games, okay, but I don't see it really. I didn't see any like a hard sale.
Bethesda only made like 2 games in 15 years. Yeah, but Bethesda's like a powerhouse, so when their games release, it's like a safe bet. Even their stinkers like Starfield. I love Kazan, and they fired the whole team after. Yeah, we already lamented that.
Who made Kazan? Sorry. What was it? The first Berserker, right? The first Berserker Kazan. Who made them? Nexon? So the publishers were Nexon. All right. Studio. Okay. Meeple and published by Nexon. Okay, so who shut them down? So who shut down Meeple? Has not been completely shut down, but its parent company Nexon reorganized and downsized the development team behind Berserker. So it wasn't Xbox, it wasn't PlayStation, it was Nexon. Nexon did it. So don't argue at them.
Talking about Kazan. Fucking shame, man. Changing gears real quick to the Kazan topic. That one actually hurts my feelings. That is so fucking sad. They made an incredible game, an extraordinary game. Everyone liked it, and they still got taken out behind the barn and put down. Just curtains. Even though they made a game that was universally appreciated.
That's Nexon.
It just straight up feels like there is no winning. Like Battlefield. Battlefield is another great example. The new Battlefield. The most recent Battlefield did really well. Very well received. Huge layoffs.
What happened with Battlefield? Game came out, made a success, but the reality is there wasn't much QA testing for the game, because a lot of QA testers were removed, because EA was doing a hiring pause, so contracts couldn't get renewed, and they outsourced their QA team. That's a big one. The other thing is their update that they had, the winter update. We all know it's been out there. It literally ruined the game. Now I want to say I wouldn't say like it's dead in the water, but it ruined the game pretty bad because that's when we were supposed to have RedSec. Or no, we already had RedSec out, but we were supposed to have the RedSec Elite series and the Open. We were supposed to have that, but the update did so much damage to RedSec that they had to cancel the Elite series, the RedSec Elite series, and also the Open. And that was like the $1 million tournament, which now they're saying like they're bringing it back, but we still don't have a date exactly when it comes back. So that's also another big problem. And it just seems like, I mean, me and a whole bunch of other people on Battlefield playing the game day after day after day, like we see, yeah, there are some improvements, but sometimes when an update comes out, there seems like it kind of backpedals a bit. Like there's some regression. It's like they're trying to progress, but then there's some regressions because of something that would break something, you know. And people are tired of it. I understand the frustration. People are tired of it. Me for sure. I'm just gonna play the game through and through. I did like how it was back then. I loved where it had like some blooming, where you had to use you had to do some burst fires to actually get, you know, to hit targets from long range. But so a lot of people that were playing RedSec, they're like, hey, I can't hit anybody far. I can't beam them far with the automatic weapon. I have to do burst fires. So then there was the change to that. But then now multiplayer is like every single gun is beaming. Like you can't, for a sniper, you got to sit far back. For DMRs, you have to sit somewhere in the far back to get some kills. Shotguns are in a weird place. The brand new shotgun that they have, the DB12, you guys see what I'm doing with that gun. That gun tickles people. So yeah, it's crazy. So anyway,
like, make a good game, get fired. Make a bad game, get fired.
Okay.
Make a game, get fired. Don't make a game, get fired. You don't win in the AAA space in its current iteration. It is not sustainable. It's a fucking bloodbath, and it's filled with like just so many sterile, boring ass products that you know are doomed for failure, yet they still just put so much money into them for seemingly no reason, and then are surprised when it doesn't work out.
So he like basically from the very like what he just said answered what he was asking for in the beginning. Is why are they doing the like why is Xbox doing this to like all their games? Why are they shutting down studios and stuff like that, or allegedly gonna be closing down studios? Because they're putting so much money into these studios that come out with games that are just not selling. Again, I'm scratching the record. I'm like I'm a DJ right now. I'm scratching the record like multiple times. Overall, games aren't like, hey, we're giving you hundreds of millions of dollars or $100 million, whatever. You make your game, you're paying your staff, your developers, everybody. Game comes out, 1,000 people play it, 10,000 people play it. It doesn't sell enough copies. Investors like, where's our money? And like, we don't have it. It's like, well, you better get our money somehow. Our money's coming back. Like, we are getting our money back somehow.
I hate to just keep harping on this, but let's look at Marathon.
Yeah.
Marathon is a game that today had 1,000 players. 1,000 players in Marathon, a Bungie flagship game. 1,000 players. They just pulled support from Destiny 2. Like, you can still play it, but like no more updates are coming to Destiny 2. It's all in on Marathon.
Yep.
It has 1,000 players.
Yep.
Everyone was saying, and anyone could tell you, that this game never stood a chance to be like a huge staple in gaming as like a live service extraction shooter. They keep chasing these white whales that are just unreasonable, and they're pouring endless clams in it and just suffocating themselves for it, and then end up closing other studios as a result. Like, it's such a disaster.
There you go. One of the biggest problems. One of the biggest problems that they have is chasing trends and stuff, chasing data, saying, oh, this is going to be the next big thing. This is the next big thing. Instead of talking to us, the gamers, the people that are supporting them, giving them the money, saying like, this is what we really want in the game. We just can't get that. I know Battlefield 6, Battlefield 6, it's okay. It's still working on itself. if we were to somehow get if Battlefield 6 incorporated a lot of stuff from previous Battlefield games, like earlier today I saw people were talking about commander mode on Battlefield 4. If they brought that back and brought back the app for it, Battlefield Commander on the tablet, that'd be sick. That would help. If they brought back Grand Operations from Battlefield 1, that would be sick. The jet gameplay, the gunplay on Battlefield 4, that would be sick. Wishful thinking, but again, it would help the game out, and a lot more people would play the game. Probably there would be more sales of the game too. But it's up to them. It's up to them if they want to do it or not. It's that simple.
It is such a disaster. These bloated budgets, this mismanagement.
That too.
It sucks so much, bro. It is so terrible. And it just keeps happening. Like, no lessons are being learned by these higher ups on the food chain at these massive corporations.
Because they won't take a pay cut. They will not take a pay cut. Nobody's ordering them to take a pay cut. So what do they do? They lay off Jimmy John, that is, no, not the food, but you know, Jimmy Bob, let's put it that way, and Sally Sue. They lay them off, saying, "I'm sorry, we can't pay you." I do not want to take money out of my pocket and jeopardize my bonus to keep you. So unfortunately, you got to go. Sorry.
They keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again.
Like in the game industry, let's put it this way: in the game industry, being laid off is like the new getting fired. The only difference is you're able to work in another studio. Yeah, you're able to work at another studio. That's the only thing. If you got fired, yeah, you're pretty much blackballed from the industry.
I don't know how many times we need to watch a lower budget title pop off, blow up, and take the world by storm for them to realize that the future is by having lower budget games that don't take 8 years to develop and $400 million. It's smaller games from a passionate team that do try and do unique things, not the same standard generic formulaic shit that they keep regurgitating every single time they go around. People are tired of it, and it shows. Like, I just don't know how else to get it through, because they're not picking up the right lessons here. It's such a shame, but anyway, I just wanted to yap about this. That's really about it. So
yeah. So, oh man, so that's Moist Critical talking about just the game industry, and not it's Xbox and the game industry. Let's put it that way. So, let me go ahead and link this in the chat. Let me put it in the chat and everything. Rumble, where you all there you guys are. But yeah, overall with the game industry, it's just talking about situations where industry is not doing hot, things of that nature. What can you do? What can you do? People are upset. Studios will end, will shut down, things of that nature. But the thing is, will they ever learn? Probably not. So anyway, if you guys did like the content, make sure to drop a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel, and also be sure to check out Moist Critical. I'll have his video linked down below. All right, but it's Alpha Jen. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.